Venue 101, today on Every Last Detail TV. This episode of Every Last Detail TV is made possible by Indie Atlantic Films. Welcome to Every Last Detail TV. I'm here at the Postcard Inn today, and I have Jillian from the Postcard Inn, the Director of Catering, with us today to answer some questions all about venues and catering. So my first question for you is, what should a bride know before going to a venue?
I think she should know her style. So if she wants to do a more casual wedding or a laid-back wedding or a fancy wedding, you know, if you want to have that princess feel with the big dress and everything, this probably isn't the venue to go to. We are a surf-inspired hotel and a little bit more laid-back atmosphere. So it's definitely something to know going in, just the feel I think that they would want for their wedding.
Yeah, definitely. And like she said, know your style. So what I'm always talking about in knowing your wedding style before you do anything else, this is a prime example of why you should know, because if you really are a laid-back kind of surfer couple, this would be the perfect place for you. But if your parents aren't okay with that, or if your parents are, you know, big around town and have lots of money, they might want you to be at the...
we could do the rehearsal dinner.
yeah, exactly. They might want you to be at the hoity-toity hotel. So it's really good to know your style, especially for knowing where to select your venue. So my next question is, what does a food and beverage minimum include? I know all venues always have a food and beverage minimum, and I myself didn't know what it was either, so maybe you could help some brides out.
Okay, that is a very hugely asked question that people kind of are confused about. It's not just the room. So it does include the room that's in there, so you don't have an extra room rental on top of it. So basically you just take what the menu that you have that you've chosen, and you take your food and your beverage and you put that towards this minimum. It also includes the chairs, the tables, the staff, so your wait staff, bartenders, servers, all of that. And then we include black and white linen in that. Some people don't, some people do, but it includes just kind of that whole, the whole room and atmosphere, plus your menu. A lot of people do feel like if they just hit their food and beverage minimum no matter what, then they're okay, but sometimes you can exceed the food and beverage minimum. So it's very important to know that it is a minimum, and that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to be spending.
So the reason for a minimum, is it to kind of have, to be able to reserve your room and to have your wedding somewhere, you have to spend X amount.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Yes, it's basically for that particular area or the amount of people. We need at least that, and then possibly over, you know, to reserve this space.
So my next question for you is, what exactly does a catering director or a food and beverage manager, or, you know, sometimes I just say hotel person,
right?
What do they do?
Okay, so your catering coordinator, catering manager.
Yes. Yeah.
Catering manager is there to guide you and to help you, but a lot of people kind of confuse them with a wedding planner. That is, they are not wedding planners, but they know a lot about the business. Obviously, we can do weddings at this point with our eyes closed, but we can point you in the right direction, but we can't take you to your appointments. So, you know, we'll definitely get the food together, the drinks together, we do the menus and the setup and everything like that, but it is always nice to have a wedding coordinator there for you, because you're the one that's going to actually take them to their appointments. We can give a vendor list, but we're not going to call the vendors. So.
Exactly. And like setting up, do you do any of that, and like running the day with a timeline or anything like that, like a planner would be doing?
Not to the extent. You know, we are there to set up our stuff. And to help, you know, our staff set up our stuff. But, you know, if they've got their own decorations and things like that, we do encourage, you know, the girls to have, you know, Aunt Betty do it or something at least. We really do encourage having a coordinator there that day for them. And then as far as the timeline is concerned, it's a very brief timeline that we do on their banquet event order. But it's definitely not as detailed as what you would do.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, I'm sure that answers a lot of questions for people too. For more insight into how to have an awesome wedding, check out everylastdetailblog.com. And now for a little bit from our sponsors, Indie Atlantic Films. Thank you so much, Jillian, for joining us today and for answering people's questions. I hope you were able to help some brides. Actually, I know you were able to help some brides.
Good.
Yes. If you would like to find out a little bit more about Postcard In, which you totally should, go to postcardin.com, or you can find them on Facebook. It's an awesome place to get married. So if you're in Florida or if you want a destination wedding, seriously look into it. Now for today's viewer question, do I need to buy napkins? When I heard this, I was kind of thinking that I'm thinking of the crappy napkins that are like the little paper squares that you put your monogram on. You don't need to buy them. You don't need them for anything. They're a waste of money. You have napkins that are linens that are either provided by your hotel or you order them, and those little square napkins are just a total waste of money. Spend $100 on a necklace for your outfit or something. If you have a question, please send me an email at lauren@everylastdetailblog.com. Tweet me at ELD_Lauren, or send me a Facebook comment on the ELD Facebook page. Thank you for watching Every Last Detail TV. I'm Lauren and this is Jillian, and we'll see you next time. Do your brad's voice.
What? This is my brad's voice. I don't have to change it. I just booked it like this. I'm Jade. I swear. I mean, it's a little higher. So this is it. Hey guys. I'm a cool cat.
Y'all making bacon?